Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Ryan. I got a great show for you here today between the Seattle Mariners and the Texas Rangers. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, one of the best center fielders in the game, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, the Texas Rangers' very own Brendan Nimmo. This is going to be a 4-game set. We're only a half game back from first place in the AL West. So this series is going to be very critical on the road in Texas. And after we're done with the Rangers in a 4-game set, we got a 3-game set on the road against the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. So this is probably going to be one of the hardest 7-game stretches on the road we've had all year. And we got to be able to come out with our foot on the gas. And hopefully we can do that here tonight. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, playing right field, Italian Stallion Dominic Canzone. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting fifth, playing first base, it's Nails Josh Naylor. Batting sixth, playing second base, Cole Clutch Young. Batting seventh, DHing today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Batting eighth, playing third base, Weston Wilson. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, the phenom, Colt Emerson. And on the mound for the Mariners, one of our top 2 aces this season, 4-4 record, ERA of 2.27, which leads the team. It is Miller time. It is Bryce Miller. And now let's get into the starting lineup for the home Texas Rangers. Leading off for the Rangers at DH, Jock Peterson. Batting second, playing left field, Wyatt Langford. Batting third, playing third base, Ezekiel Duran. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, right fielder, Brendan Nimmo. Batting fifth, playing center field, Evan Carter. Batting sixth, playing first base, Jake Berger. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, Nicky Lopez. Batting eighth, catching today for the Rangers, Elias Diaz. And batting ninth, playing second base, Cameron Cawley. And on the mound for the Rangers with a 6-8 record, ERA of 4.80, it is Mackenzie Gore. Tridents up. Let's go M's. Corey Seagers is injured. So obviously anytime you have one of the better players out of the lineup, that'll definitely help us, obviously in this series. But I do hope Seager heals up. He's been on the injured list a few times this year. Obviously some back issues as of late. So obviously we have to make sure we take advantage. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And I got a quick injury report for two Seattle Mariners that we've been waiting on. The first will be J.P. Crawford. We were kind of hoping that he'd finally be leading off and be in the lineup, but this is the fourth day now with wrist soreness that he got in batting practice. So J.P. not in the lineup. Is it possible that he ends up entering the game later? It's possible. You know, it could end up being tomorrow or the following day. We do have a 4-game set here against the Rangers, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of JP at some point in the series. And then for the guy we've been waiting on since the first month of the season, Brendan Donovan, our starting third baseman and leadoff hitter. JP has filled in nicely, but Brendan Donovan is due back in about 4 days. So he won't play in this particular series, but hopefully he'll be ready when we go to Los Angeles and we play the Dodgers. So it's getting very, very close to reality of having JP and Brendan Donovan healthy. And obviously when Donnie is back, JP will more than likely be a role player that'll have to be penciled in, you know, depending on who's going to be playing shortstop or second base if they decide to give Cole Young or Colt Emerson a day off. But you would assume once Donnie is good to go, he will be our leadoff hitter moving on from the rest of the season, as well as our starting third baseman. And we've been missing you desperately, Donnie and J.P. Crawford. '50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. So every stream we will dedicate it to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday. And we are just about to get settled in the first pitch in just a few minutes. Uma in the building. What's good? Daniel in the building. Odin's son in the building. Rebecca in the building. C in the building. Garrett in the building. Charles in the building. Yeah, they got a few, assistants. It's not just Edgar Martinez that's helping, with the hitting. It's Kevin Seitzer as well as a few others. And, it would be nice to be able to get everybody on the same page, hitting wise. But again, this team has definitely underachieved this year. We've had a lot of things go sideways, a lot of surprises with injuries and poor play, but hopefully that'll be behind us. And, these next, 60-ish games moving forward, we can put our best foot forward. I do think that we will make the playoffs. I do think we have a very good chance of winning the division. And if we don't, I think we'll be able to get the wild card. I don't think there's any scenario in my mind that we're not going to, make the playoffs. And once we get in, we got as good of a chance as any team, including the Tampa Bay Rays, the New York Yankees, the Chicago White Sox, the Cleveland Guardians, as well as this Texas Ranger team that we're going to be playing to be able to make a run. And obviously, if you look at our team, I think we have a better team than the Astros. We have a better team than the Rangers. I think we match up really well against the Guardians and the White Sox. But player for player, I think we're deeper. And I think we are the biggest threat to the Rays and the Yankees. They realize that we have underachieved. The American League is down this year. And there's a very good possibility that the American League is going to be won by one of three teams. Possibly the Mariners, if they can continue to get hot at the right time. And then the obvious New York Yankees once Aaron Judge joins the lineup again. And then the number one Tampa Bay Rays. So we'll see how it all plays out. But again, I like our chances here on the road, even though it is going to be challenging. We got a 4-game set, and then we got a 3-game set on the road against the world champion back-to-back Los Angeles Dodgers. So again, we got to try to be able to win 3 out of 4 here, because realistically, we might only win 1 game in LA. First pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle there by Mackenzie Gore, 4-seam fastball right down the pipe to Randy Arozarena, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And I do like the fact that we got Randy leading off rather than Cole Young. I feel Cole does better somewhere between the 3 and the 9 hole, so hopefully that adjustment will help today. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Gore. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0 Mariners and Rangers. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gore to Arozarena. Velasco in the building, what's good? Tony in the building, what's good? 2-1 pitch. Low and at the knees, just missing the strike zone. And make sure you guys are staying cool and Obviously, comfortable, the best that you can. We still have a little bit of a mini heat wave in some parts of Oregon and Washington. We're not in the hundreds or in the high 90s, but a lot of areas are in the high 80s today. 3-1 pitch. Randy pops it up a mile into foul territory, and Berger gets it in foul territory, and that is 1 up and 1 down. Down goes Randy Arozarena, popping up to Jake Berger in foul territory off first. 1 up and 1 down. Next up for the Mariners, back at center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. On deck, right fielder, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. First pitch, high and away, changeup, 86 miles an hour there by Gore, 1-0 count. And we need our batters to be patient without J.P. Crawford in the lineup. A lot of these hitters for the Mariners have been overly aggressive, and hopefully we'll be able to get some patient at-bats by other individuals than Dom and Cole Young. Those two more than likely will be patient in a majority of their at-bats, but for the rest, we will see. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, high and inside, out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-1 pitch. Inside, not getting the call with a 4-seam fastball there by Gore. 2 balls and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Shout out to our female audience, as well as all of our new subs, our regulars as well, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. I appreciate you. 2-1 pitch. Julio pops it up into right field, fading out of play. Count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Angry in the building. What's good? Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats. The best beats on YouTube. And we got a new one here today that will be debuting. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. 3-2 pitch popped up. 3 Rangers converge on the play, but it goes just into foul territory. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Rangers and Mariners. 3-2 pitch to Julio. Popped up and out of play again. Pitch was high and away with that 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by Mackenzie Gore. And he's giving you a little bit of everything. 4-seam fastballs, a few changeups. So we'll have to be able to see if Julio can continue to be patient here in the box. Rebecca in the building. What's good? 3-2 pitch. Julio with a slow dribbler towards the pitcher. Throw to first. Throw was a little low, but in time, and that is 2 up and 2 down as Julio grounds out to Mackenzie Gore. Long at bat to get the pitch count up, so I'm not mad about that. Again, as long as we have a few steady at bats, and especially if we can get a few that are going to be, in pitch 8, pitch 9, 10, 11, and we can kind of wear Mackenzie Gore down. That way he doesn't pitch, 6, 7, 8 innings. Hopefully we can get him out by the 5th or 6th. Next up, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. First pitch to Dominic Canzone is in there for a strike looking, 0-1 count. Slider 85 miles an hour down the middle. 0-1 pitch to Dom. Popped up, fading into left field and out of play. Another slider again, 85, 86 miles an hour, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the first, 0-0 Mariners and Rangers. This is going to be a 4-game set on the road. Very challenging. We're only a half game back. So, whoever ends up winning the series will, more than likely have that little bit of that edge moving forward. And then not only that, 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Dom, and that is 3 up and 3 down. And after we're done with this Ranger team, and hopefully we can win 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4 at the very minimum if it goes that route. And then we got a 3-game set against the Dodgers. And again, we could get swept by the Dodgers. Realistically, we'll probably only win 1 unless we get really hot at the right time, against this Ranger team. And maybe we could, overachieve and win 2 games against the Dodgers out of 3. But let's be honest with ourselves. How many teams have been able to win 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers or sweep them? Not many this year. So again, but you never know. That's why we play this game. All right, let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Rangers. Leading off for the Rangers at DH, Jock Peterson. Batting second, left fielder Wyatt Langford. And batting third baseman Ezekiel Duran. And normally we're going to see Corey Seager in one of the 3 spots leading off, but he's got some back issues. He's been on the IL, a few times this year. So we more than likely, with Seager's injury, you're not going to see him for quite some time, but hopefully he ends up getting healthy. But again, Young should be day-to-day. We might see him in the lineup tomorrow. And then obviously with Higashioka, another one of their, role players that you see at catcher from time to time, usually does pretty good against the Mariners. He's not due back until July 31st, so we won't be seeing him either. And hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of that. No Seager and no Higashioka. And on the mound for the Mariners, 4-4 record, ERA of 2.27, Bryce Miller. Tridents up, let's go M's. 37 subs to go to 24,500. We're still waiting on our first dono on our dono train. And let's see where we're at on the likes here early on as we go to the bottom of the first inning. All right, we're at 34 likes so far. Good start. $66 to $100. JT in the building. What's good? First pitch from Miller to Jock. Low and at the knees. 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Bryce Miller. And Bryce, when he, came back from the injury was, the best pitcher, on the Mariners, hands down, had, the best record and the best ERA. But since the last few weeks, that win-loss record has started to go more towards the L column. And, Logan Gilbert, probably now is our number 1. Miller is 2. Not to say that Miller can't, get where he was and get a few games above 500, but it still has a very, very solid ERA, the best on the team. Pitch fouled off there by Jock Peterson, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to Peterson. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Peterson. But, Hancock has been, doing pretty well overall this season. Miller and Gilbert obviously, have been doing their thing. And it's just about Kirby and Wu kind of catching up. Obviously, one of the last times that we saw Kirby, he was electric. And hopefully when we see Wu, I think tomorrow, hopefully he'll be like Kirby was in his last start, and we can get those guys back towards the top in the rotation. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Peterson. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Peterson. I like the move by LeBron. If I was LeBron James, that's where I would have gone. Because again, you've already proven, yourself in Cleveland. You've already done the Miami thing. Even though Giannis is there with Bam, you need a good guard to play with if you want to be able to win a championship nowadays. And obviously, Steph Curry could have been tantalizing, but a little bit older at this point as he pops up and Julio is there and down goes Jock Peterson, and that is 1 away. But if you can play, with Maxey and you can play with Edgecombe, and those guys are 2 of the most up-and-coming guards, you got Jaylen Brown from the Celtics. That's the guard/forward that you need. And then you got Embiid. So, to me, that was the easiest choice. If you want to win a championship, I think that was the best choice between Cleveland and Golden State and Miami. and you're looking at kind of the landscape of the NBA. We just saw the Knicks kind of do the unthinkable and win the championship with Jalen Brunson. So I feel that, with Embiid and Jaylen Brown, people are talking about a big three, but you can't forget about Maxey and Edgecombe. Those guys are very solid. And now the Sixers have one of the best starting fives in basketball. Facts. First pitch from Miller to Langford is a ball, 1-0 count. And I do think we have a very good chance of winning today, especially with no Higashioka or Corey Seager. But again, on the road, we don't really play our best ball like we do at home. So we'll see. Pitch fouled off towards third base and out of play by Wyatt Langford. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to Langford. We do have our top, 4 pitchers for the most part pitching in this series. But again, that doesn't do us really well going forward against the Dodgers. I did hear a rumor that the Mariners would be willing to get rid of Castillo and even Emerson Hancock if we could end up getting a right-handed bat and some bullpen help. Obviously, I would rather keep Hancock than Castillo. But if we had to trade Emerson Hancock to the Cubs, and maybe like Rucker, like one of our bullpen guys, and then we get Seiya Suzuki and like a bullpen guy, I would do that in a heartbeat. We already got Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan waiting in the wings. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball, deep left field, back, and gone. And Wyatt Langford homers off of Bryce Miller here early. 1-0 Rangers. And again, this is not going to be an easy series, and we just got to hope that Bryce only gives up 2 runs or less, 3 at the max. And again, it's not really ideal when you end up giving up a home run in the first inning. Big home run there by Wyatt Langford. And definitely he is the guy more than likely that will pick up the slack with Corey Seager out with injury. Next up in the 3-hole, third baseman Ezekiel Duran. Let's go, Bryce. We need you to settle down and settle in. First pitch popped up. And out of play from Miller to Duran, sinker at 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And the only way that I would be okay with losing Emerson Hancock, and Castillo is, again, if we address, some of the bullpen issues that we have, and we can get a really good player to come in, like a Seiya Suzuki. If we get a Seiya Suzuki type, of player, obviously there's only been a few names that have been linked to the Mariners or that would be good fits as we get a line drive up the middle. Young is there, throw to first, and that is 2 away. But obviously the good fits, from some of the quote-unquote experts on, the MLB network, obviously Mason Miller is linked to like 7 teams. One is the Mariners, even though we have Andres Munoz. But imagine if we had Mason Miller and Andres Munoz, like how amazing that would be, right? You wouldn't even necessarily need Mooney to pitch in the 9th. You could have Mooney pitch in the 8th, and Miller could be our guy to try to be able to get to the World Series. Seiya Suzuki would be a great fit, giving us a right-handed bat that could also play defense. That would be amazing. And then obviously, Casey Schmidt, a third baseman, from the Giants, and, a few of these other guys that they've been mentioning, just in case there's an issue with J.P. Crawford or Brandon Donovan health-wise, towards the end. And that one might be the most realistic option, but you never know, and again, the Mariners are going to be buyers at the deadline. And I hope that we make a splash like we had the last couple years. First pitch is fouled off, high and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Knuckle curve by Miller missing to Brendan Nimmo. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. 1-0 Rangers with a Wyatt Langford homer to left, 384 feet, a no doubter. And again, I do like Hancock a lot. And you have to understand, Castillo, if we trade him at the deadline or not, he won't be on the team next year. Hard hit ball into deep right field off the wall. Get it, Dom. And that's going to be a stand-up double here for Brendan Nimmo. And Miller getting roughed up here a little bit early on the road. Got to settle down and settle in, Bryce. Nice hit there by Brendan Nimmo. He'll also be a big factor in this series with Wyatt Langford, who homered a few minutes ago. Got to really limit the damage with Langford and Nimmo with no Seager in the lineup. Next up, in the 5-hole, center fielder Evan Carter. But I wouldn't want to trade Hancock, for, just like a scrub, type of bullpen guy. That wouldn't be worth it. If we can get, a hitter and a pitcher for Castillo, or a hitter and a pitcher, for, Hancock, depending on who they are, then it would be worth it. But obviously, if we can get anything decent for Castillo, I mean, obviously he's terrible. He's our, most expendable piece. But with Hancock, he's actually been one of our better pieces. So if we were to let him go, we have to get something in equal value or better. And really, the only thing that would be an equal value or better, in my opinion, would be like Mason Miller or Seiya Suzuki. If we could get impact guys like that, then it would be worth it to get rid of Hancock. But if it's not impact guys like Mason Miller or Seiya Suzuki, then I would take a pass and see who we can get for Castillo. 2-0 pitch from Miller to Carter. Check swing. Does he go? Yes, he does. Slider low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Miller to Carter. The thing is, there's a lot of teams right now that are desperate for pitching, and Castillo actually has been halfway decent, within his last 6 to 8 starts compared to what he was at the beginning of the year when his ERA was, 5.6. So little flip to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. So, there's a lot of desperate teams that, believe it or not, would trade for Luis Castillo, just to be able to get another piece, in their starting rotation. Because you got to realize, we're not the only team that's injured and beat up. And obviously Castillo is our worst starter, but Luis Castillo on, some of these other teams in MLB, believe it or not, even if with an ERA of 4, 5, or 6, he still would end up being like a 3 option or a 4 option on a lot of teams. And then on some, he would be the 5, but he would be as high as a 3 on a few teams right now. So, and obviously that shows kind of where pitching is at for some of these other teams. We have to be incredibly blessed that we have one of the best rotations in baseball and also one of the better bullpens. It's just, we're injured right now with Brash, Criswell, and Vargas. And if we didn't have those 3 injuries, we wouldn't have to be playing, Hoppy or Simpson or Rucker or Davila. And again, that's really what's hurt us. And Mooney has turned his season around, and now we just need a little bit more depth in the bullpen, and we need one more right-handed hitter. And obviously preferred guy for me would be Seiya Suzuki, but I don't know if the Cubs would be willing to get rid of one of their best players. Can you imagine if we traded Castillo for Seiya Suzuki and if they swap pitchers in the bullpen? Cubs fans would just lose their fucking minds. And obviously I know that we would be eternally grateful. All right. We're down a run, but that's not nothing that we can't come back from. Let's go to the top of the 2nd inning and see if we can get on the board and tie this game up. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Next up for the Mariners in the 4-hole, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting 2nd in the 5-hole, first baseman, Josh Naylor. And batting 3rd in the 6-hole, second baseman, Cole Clutch Young. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Brandon Donovan back in about 4 days, when we end up starting the series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And then, JP Crawford is day to day. So hopefully we see him tomorrow, if not later in this game. And on the mound for the Rangers, 6-8 record, ERA of 4.80 is Mackenzie Gore. First pitch from Gore to Cal Raleigh is a ball high and away, curveball, 81 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, borderline pitch, high and inside, looked like a ball to me, but called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gore to big dumper. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, 4-seam fastball right down the middle, 95 mile an hour high heat by Mackenzie Gore. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 2nd inning, 1-0 Rangers. Solo dinger by Wyatt Langford, 384 feet to left field in the first off Bryce Miller, and hopefully that'll be the only home run Bryce gives up tonight. One-two pitch, big swing and a miss. And that is 1 up and 1 down. Yeah, it's not only just the money, for Luis, obviously being our worst pitcher, that obviously compounds that problem. And again, even if we were paying Luis the minimum, I wouldn't want him on our team next year, especially with Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan and who else, may end up coming to the Mariners in the offseason. We've had our, fair share of good times with Luis early in his career, especially in that first year in 2022. If you look at his stats and his analytics, they've been going downhill every single year since we got him. So, and with the depth that we have now, we don't really need him, at least as far as a starting pitching. And I don't even really want him in as a bullpen guy either. Just hasn't been very reliable this season. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gore to Naylor. But I do believe Castillo, he won't be a hot commodity, like a Mason Miller, but he will be a commodity, just name recognition alone, and also how he's pitched recently, better than he did at the beginning of the year. Now, if Luis was on the market now, based on how he pitched at the beginning of the year, his market want would be a lot lower, but it's starting to gain a little bit of ground based on MLB circles that I've been reading. So, and obviously there's a lot of holes and a lot of starting 5 lineups for baseball. And again, injuries are always going to be key to starting pitching, especially at the end of the year. 2-1 pitch from Gore, low and away. And if we can exploit someone's, desperate need for a pitcher, and we can get a really good player in return, like a Seiya Suzuki or a Mason Miller, we got to take advantage. And I don't really think Miller would have a chance coming to Seattle, but with Seiya Suzuki, I think there's a chance. But realistically, Casey Schmidt from the Giants at third would probably be the most realistic choice to give us depth at third base, just in case we have issues with Donnie or JP. And that is a walk there by Gore, and we got a runner at first. I mean, Castillo in the last couple months has actually had some decent, outings where he gave up 2 runs or less. And normally Castillo just has 1 meltdown inning and, gives up like 3, 4, 5 runs. But all the other innings, he's usually halfway decent. I won't say good, but, again, he's been better than he was at the beginning of the year. I think we can say, that is true. And a little dribbler into right field. There we go, my boy, Cole Clutch Young. And now we got runners at first and second with 1 out. There we go. And Naylor getting on with a walk with a good patient at bat. Normally he is not patient. And Cole Young, to me, one of the best players on the team. He's only in his sophomore year. Great two-way player like Julio. And he's going to be a Gold Glover and a future All-Star year in and year out, probably starting next year. Could end up starting the All-Star game at second base next year. That's how good Cole Young is. Just got to get that batting average closer to 280 to 300. Next up, DHing today, Mitch Garver. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. And you don't really expect anything out of Garver, but if he can get on with a single and then get walked once or hit by a pitch and not hurt once, or he's on base twice, that's a good day for Mitch Garver. Anything that, is something rather than nothing with some of our lower tier guys. And we know Weston Wilson on deck has actually been pretty good for us. He's been our best role player out of all the role players, better than Garver, better than Rob Refsnyder, better than Connor Joe. He is by far the best one. And the only other guy that I can really mention that should be on the team right now that's not is Johnny Pareda. I think he should be starting over Garver. And imagine if we had Pareda DHing right now. That would be a better chance to get a hit and to be better productive behind the plate as Cal's backup. But Garver has experience, and that is essentially what is saving his job, at least for this season. Rangers challenge. And the call is overturned from a ball to a strike. I like that. Not really. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mitch Garver. Come on, Mitch. You got to battle. All day in the building. What's good? Yeah, but again, Castillo and Refsnyder massively overpaid for their skill set. And it'll be nice to not have them on the team, obviously, next season. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss for Garv. Not surprised. And that is 2 up and 2 down. But hopefully Garver will be able to surprise us with a home run, an RBI, or at least a single before, the game is over. Next up in the 8 hole, third baseman, Weston Wilson. Let's go, Weston. First pitch popped up behind the plate. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. See if we can take advantage. Sometimes we have problems, with runners in scoring position early from, getting them, to cross home plate. But you never know. Again, we're on our, last stretch here, to be able to play strong and, win this division, which I do believe we can. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, and runners do not advance. Obviously, if Naylor would have went for it, he would have been thrown out at third, it looked like, probably by a mile. So good decision there by Naylor as well as Young to stay put. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gore to Wilson. I think the Sixers have as good of a chance as anybody to represent the Eastern Conference. I mean, are they good enough to win it all? We'll have to see what the chemistry is like with Embiid, Jaylen Brown, and obviously LeBron James playing together for the very first time. And we also have to see how injury-prone they will be. But I really like Maxey and Edgecombe. Those are the guys that aren't really talked about as much because you have Jaylen Brown and Embiid and LeBron, and those are bigger names, but they definitely are going to need a good backcourt. And to me, with Maxey and Edgecombe, they are really underrated. They are very, very good, based on their age. And obviously the Miami Heat, with Giannis and Bam Adebayo, that kind of has a certain type of vibe to it as well. Knicks should still be competitive after winning the championship, and Cleveland and a few others should be halfway decent. Boston should probably go in the opposite direction after getting rid of Jaylen Brown, but we'll see how it all plays out between the East and the West in the NBA in the upcoming season. 2-1 pitch, hard hit ball in right field. Let's go. Weston Wilson with an RBI. Run. And Naylor coming home. My boy, Weston Wilson. We tie the game up, baby. Let's go. And it shows you when you get somebody like a Weston Wilson. When we first got him, we were like, okay, he was a former Oriole, but his stats were not very good. So we were like, oh, great. Another Rob Refsnyder, another Connor Joe, another Mitch Garver. Golly, right? But then you start to see him play, and he's like pretty good at defense, and he's the best hitter, other than Johnny Pareda, who's in AAA. And Pareda started to get hot, and what do? Instead of rewarding him by staying on the team, we send him to AAA. That's kind of what we do, unfortunately. But again, at least Weston Wilson has worked out. And again, I'm really happy with his production within the last month. Great job. Next up is Colt Emerson. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. We got runners now on the corners, first and third with 2 outs. And if Colt can just learn how to be patient in the box like Cole Young, his stat line and his batting average are going to go through the roof. And I do believe next year will be a breakout year for Colt. But this year, his rookie season, he's really pressing, a lot of pressure, and a lot of aggressive bad at-bats. And again, if he can just let the game come to him, those home runs and singles and doubles and RBIs will come naturally, as well as walks. And he hasn't really been in position for a walk. And as I say that right now, we have a 3-0 count. And, if we can get Colt to, realize walks, they may not be sexy, but they help you win by getting you on base and getting the pitch count up of the opposing pitcher, Mackenzie Gore. And also on top of that, when you have a 3-0 pitch or a 3-1 pitch, you have a better chance of getting a home run on that pitch, rather than maybe the first two that may be low and away or high and away or inside. 3 balls and 1 strike from Gore to Emerson. 3-1 pitch, hard hit ball into the left field, laser and foul. Paisley is an American Staffordshire Terrier, so kind of in the Pitty family, American Staffy. But she's got a little bit of Pitty in her. I think mom was 100% American Staffy, and I think dad was half Pitty and half Staffy. So 3-2 pitch, and there we go. And this is something that we haven't seen very much out of Colt Emerson. I'm so proud of him by taking the walk. He has to be able to learn that, it's not going to be sexy to take walks. Just like it's not sexy to typically draft an offensive lineman in the first round for your favorite NFL team, but sometimes you got to do it, and it helps you win. And great job there by Colt Emerson. And now we got bases loaded for Randy Arozarena and a mound visit there by the Rangers here with their pitcher. Let's go. We got Randy in the box and Julio on deck. And if Randy can get a hit, there's a good chance that Julio will probably do the same. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. .09 ERA in the last 5 starts for Mackenzie Gore, giving up 3, 5, 4, 0, and 4 against the Blue Jays, the Guardians, the Angels, the Astros, and the Braves. So if we can take advantage of this slump that Mackenzie Gore is in, I'm not saying that we would win the game in the second inning, but it definitely would put the pressure on, moving forward, especially if they have a weak bullpen pitcher come in after Gore. And let's see if Randy Arozarena can live up to his all-star billing from this season. Yeah, thank you. I always try to get a picture, of her after going to a facility. It's usually about 20 minutes from my house, but I've been going there ever since she was a baby, and they have a really good facility for tubs, so I can wash her and whatnot. And then I have the, guys in the back and the girls in the back do the nail trim and the Dremel. So, but she always looks forward to going there. The owners are awesome people. The one owner of it actually comes into the channel here and sometimes we'll say hello. And, it's just a good vibe when I know I can do something good for her. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 1-1 pitch, check swing. And Randy should have been more patient there. That would have been 2 balls and 1 strike. And Randy with a check swing on a pitch high and away. You got to be better, Randy. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. But a lot of times, when I try to take a picture, she knows that I'm trying to do it, and then she'll look away. So I got to be real quick to try to get one with her tongue out or with her smiling. And I was able to do that. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gore to Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Made the All-Star game for Julio last season as Julio gave up his spot, and our only All-Star in 2026. 2-2 pitch, popped up and behind the plate there on the Globe Life Field sign. Count now is 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, and 2 outs. We've already tied the game up, and I already thought we were going to play very well against this Ranger team. We have to. We got to win 3 out of 4. And I know that's kind of aggressive, but we have to, because we're going to go against the Dodgers in LA next, and we could get swept, but probably we'll only win 1 unless we win 3 out of 4. Then maybe we can win 2 if we get lucky. But the bats need to come alive. Not only in this series to win 3 or 4, but also in the Dodger series. Pitching and hitting have got to be top notch when you're going against the back-to-back champion. Pitch fouled off and out of play. 4-seam fastball. 96 miles an hour there by Mackenzie Gore. 2 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 2 outs. Really good at-bat for Naylor, Young, and Colt Emerson. Proud of him taking that walk. 2-2 pitch. And Randy with a dribbler up the middle. And a flip just in time at first base. And that is out number 3. So we leave 3 stranded. And I know that stinks. But again, at least we tied the game up. You got to crawl before you walk. And if we're able to get bases loaded this early on Mackenzie, there's a very good chance that we're going to rough him up in the next inning or the inning after that. So I'm happy that Weston Wilson is definitely playing above his potential. And that makes up, for the Rob Refsnyder situation, the Connor Joe, choosing Garver over Johnny Pareda, which is ridiculous. Johnny Pareda should be our backup catcher, not only this year, but next year moving forward. And he might be, but again, they just feel more comfortable with Garver. But let's be real. Pareda is a better catcher and a better hitter than Garver. I just wish the Mariner organization would recognize that as well. All right, let's go to the bottom of the second inning. Great job, Weston Wilson. You're my boy. And again, it takes a lot for the Mariner fan base to really start to like a newbie. And I think he's really starting to prove himself in the last month. Great job with that RBI by Weston Wilson scoring Naylor. And if it was a little bit harder hit, Young would have been able to score as well. But we'll take a 1-1 tie early on. Great job, Weston. All right, let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next here for the Rangers. Next up for the Rangers in the 6-hole, first baseman Jake Berger. Batting second in the 7-hole, shortstop Nicky Lopez. And batting third in the 8-hole, catcher Elias Diaz. Tridents up. Let's go M's. 37 subs to go to 24,500. And it looks like we gained a sub during the commercial break. Thank you so much. 36 subs to go to 24,500. We're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And shout out to Christakis with a couple of his donos on the last stream. I didn't notice those until after the stream was over. So thank you so much for those. And we are at 50 on the likes, 50 to go. Sean in the building. What's good? Yeah, I mean, obviously the pitchers, are familiar with Garver, and that's the reason he has the job over Pareda. But if we're talking about who's going to give us a better chance to win when they play, it's hands down Pareda. I think he's a better defensive catcher, and he's a way better hitter. But again, if some of the pitchers feel comfortable with someone, that's fine. But, being comfortable and producing are two different things. First pitch is high and inside, 1-0 count. But if we have no Garver, no Ref Snyder, and no Castillo next year, think about how much better our team will be. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jake Whataburger. Mike in the building, Velasco in the building, Sean in the building. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike on the corner, low and away. Nice pitch there by Bryce Miller. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, right on the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the second, 1-1, Mariners and Rangers. Langford with a homer to left, 384 feet in the first off Miller, which sucked. But, it's a reality. It happens, right? But Weston Wilson with a single to center with Naylor and Young at first and second and scoring Naylor from second. And obviously it has to be a pretty good hit ball for Naylor to score from second to home, but it was. Great job by Weston Wilson with that RBI, and we're knotted up at 1. 2-2 pitch. And we got him to pop up. And Julio is there in the no-fly zone. So happy that he's back in center field. And that is 1 away. Sean with a 20. Shout out to Sean. He's a dog father like myself and understands, you got to have a lot of love and a lot of effort, to be able to make your dogs and cats happy. And I appreciate you very, very much. $20 holla. Every dollar counts, especially when I have to take care of her. So thank you so much. We're at 20.80 to go. And Sean and Christakis and a few others have really been stepping up as of late. So hopefully we'll get a few others in the room to follow in Sean's footsteps. Appreciate you very, very much. First pitch is fouled off there by Nicky Lopez, and half of this lineup is going to be new to a lot of Mariner fans watching the Rangers in the past. Some of these names are not recognizable because they weren't on the team or they weren't playing. So Nicky Lopez, Elias Diaz, as well as the 9-hole hitter Cameron Cawley. So, and they have no, Corey Seager, or Kyle Higashioka. So we should be able to take advantage, of this team. And obviously we know Adolis Garcia is no longer on the Rangers, after being kind of a regular that would hurt us year in and year out. So, even though the Rangers have a similar record to us, player for player, they're not even in the same stratosphere based on our talent. We just been underachieving. 0-2 pitch, popped up. And Randy is there, and that is 2 away. But they are well managed. I'll give them that, the Rangers. And their players, some of them have overachieved. And obviously, when you have a good manager and you play a certain type of way, even though both of our records are around 500, right? We're only a half game back, but again, we should be able to distance ourselves, hopefully, in the next month or month and a half, hopefully. And that is 2 away. Next up is Elias Diaz. First pitch to Diaz, and he pops it up. And out of play. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Rebecca with a fiver. Thank you so much. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to our female audience and our number one female Mariner fan, Rebecca. I see you showing that love and appreciation for the channel and for Paisley. Thank you so much. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball, deep center field, back. And Julio is there for out number 3. Oh, Jay Buhner in the house? No way. I know he has a house out there in Texas, so usually he tries to join the broadcast anytime that we are in Texas. This is all going to be awesome. I love me some Jay Buhner. And shout out to Sean and Rebecca. Love them too. Nice job by Julio Rodriguez getting that ball in center field for out number 3. End of the second inning. We're tied at 1. Now it's time for us to take the lead. Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1 center fielder. It's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 0-for-1 with a K, right fielder, the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 36 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 25 on the Dono train with the generosity of Sean and Rebecca. Hopefully a few of you will be able to hop on that train as well. And let's see where we're at on the likes. We were at 50 moments ago and see how many more likes we need to get to 100. We have almost 200 in the room, 187. And we are at... Now we're almost closer to 200 with 197. We are at 58. We're almost there. $42 to 100. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. It'll help people find Ranger streams for baseball, Mariners, MLB, and obviously we're global, so it'll help out those individuals as well. United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond, New Zealand, Australia, you name it, they watch us. And I get all the metrics on the daily. And we got Dave Valley, Jay Buhner, and Aaron Goldsmith in the booth. I love it. And I love the bond, that, Jay Buhner, ends up having, with Ken Griffey Jr. They could be the two most complete opposites of each other, with Griffey with kind of more of a, laid back, kind of hip hop, sports kind of vibe. And Buhner's a cowboy, but their friendship is eternal. And a nice hit there by Julio Rodriguez into left field and drops. Great job there by Julio Rodriguez. And I love the bond that Buhner and Griffey have even to this day. They were very tight as teammates, but as you know, after you're done playing baseball, sometimes you kind of go your own way. You do your own thing, but they continue to keep in touch with each other. And I love being able to see that out of guys that I've loved watching growing up, Jay Buhner Bones, and my favorite of all time, Ken Griffey Jr. Next up is Dominic Canzone. First pitch to Canzone, popped up and out of play. Slider, 84 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Mackenzie Gore on the mound. Dominic Canzone in the box. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away. Sinker missing there by Mackenzie Gore. Just maybe by an inch or two. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first. Julio Rodriguez with no outs. Top of the third, 1-1 Mariners and Rangers. And I really like this rivalry, with the Rangers. It may not be as heated and hated like the Astros, but again, it's a good rivalry. And then obviously when we play the Angels and the Athletics, we kind of play down to them and sometimes they beat us up. Same thing like when we play the Royals, whether they're good or bad, they sometimes beat us up. But we usually bring our A game every time against the Astros and Rangers. And, hopefully we'll be able to beat them up in this 4-game set. Call is overturned. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. 2-1 pitch, a little dribbler. Flip to first, and that was very close. A little bit of a hezzy there by the Rangers, kind of taking their time. And Dom running hard, to first base. But the double play is in time. And that is 2 away. I kind of feel for Julio because it's not like Julio's going to be getting on early in games all the time. I was really hoping that we wouldn't hit into a double play there, but it is a part of the game. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. But hopefully, again, we don't hit into any more double plays today. And hopefully, hopefully, Bryce Miller doesn't give up any home runs either. And again, if we're going to hit into a double play, hopefully we'll be able to get one in return, to kind of make up for what happened. First pitch from Gore to big dumper. And a hard hit ball by Cal. And that is a fair ball. Let's go. And it just kind of feels like Cal has more confidence from the right side rather than the left, which is kind of ironic because the right side is his weaker side. But sometimes when you're on the left side forever struggling and then you go to your right side, sometimes it's kind of a different perspective. And obviously when he hit the grand salami, he was from the right side, and he shows that he can hit from the right side again here in Texas. Great job, Cal. And if Dom didn't hit into the double play, then that hit right there probably would have given us a 2-1 lead. Next up is Josh Naylor. First pitch is a ball, high and away, 1-0 count. On deck is Cole Clutch Young. And a little dribbler up the middle. Flip to second for the fielder's choice, and down is Cal, and that is out number 3. But, getting Julio and Cal with hits early, that's a good sign. Think about how many times we watch games and we're like, we don't even have our first hit until like the 7th inning. We already got 4 hits today. So, we're doing a lot better than I expected on the road. At home is one thing, but on the road and against a rival, it just feels like it's just a matter of time before we blow up and have that big inning of, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs. And hopefully we get that here tonight. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Rangers in the bottom of the 3rd. Next up for the Rangers in the 9-hole, second baseman Cameron Cawley. Batting second, leadoff hitter, 0 for 1, DHing Jock Peterson. And batting third in the 2-hole, left fielder who hit the home run in the first, 384 feet, Wyatt Langford. Trident's up, let's go M's. Okay, gained another sub during the commercial break. Thank you so much. 35 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 25 on the Dono train because of Sean and Rebecca's generosity. 75 to go. And we're at 63 on the likes, 37 to hit 100. And we got 200 in the room. So if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Division record this year for the Mariners, 17-9, Rangers 13-16. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Brendan Donovan is back in about 4 days. So that first game against the Dodgers, hopefully he'll be our starting third baseman and our leadoff hitter. And then JP Crawford is day-to-day with the wrist. And hopefully we get him tomorrow for the third game on Sunday. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch from Miller to Cawley, popped up with the four-seam fastball high and away, out of play, 0-1 count. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Bryce Miller. Bottom of the third inning, 1-1, Mariners and Rangers. And we're only a half game back from first place. They're 51-51. We're 51-52. So whoever wins the series will be on the top of the standings of the AL West, for that matter. Hopefully we get Dom to do something later in the game. Let's go, baby. Hoping we get at least a home run or two today as well. 0-2 pitch after the bunt foul attempt. Line drive to Julio, as reliable as they come. And that is one away. Nobody more reliable in center field on defense, in my opinion, than Julio Rodriguez. Let's go. Great job. Next up is Jock Peterson. First pitch, high and away to Jock. 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, high and away. One-0 pitch in there for a strike. Low and away. 1-1 strike from Miller to Peterson. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and inside. Nasty cutter there by Miller. Fooling Jock Peterson. 1-2 strikes with nobody on and one out. Bottom of the third. 1-1 Mariners and Rangers. Shout out to all of our new subs, all of our regulars, everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. And, we got some of the best fans on planet Earth that are a part of this channel, and I appreciate every single one of you. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, out of play, splitter, 85 miles an hour, high and away. 1-2 strikes from Miller to Jock Peterson. 1-2 pitch from Miller. Little dribbler towards first base and foul. Splitter, 85 miles an hour, high and away. 1-2 strikes from Miller to Peterson. One-two pitch. And a little blooper into left. Randy is there, and that is 2 away. Nice job there by Randy. Next up in the 2-hole, the MVP for the Rangers so far with his solo dinger in the first, 384 feet, Wyatt Langford. First pitch to Langford, gets away from Cal all the way to the backstop, 1-0 count. Thankfully, we didn't have a runner on board there. They would have easily got to second base off that throw. Got to limit the wild throws, It's one thing if it ends up being a wild throw from a guy like Carlos Vargas, who's been injured all year, that Cal can't get, but we don't want to have too many wild throws by our starters. 1-0 pitch, tries to jam him, and he pops up into foul territory in left field, out of play. And even jamming him, he gets it into the upper deck. Langford's got a lot of power in that small stature. 1-1 strike from Miller to Langford. Sinker at 95 miles an hour, high and away. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Bottom of the third, we're knotted up at 1. 1-1 pitch, pop behind the plate to the Globe Life Field sign. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by Bryce Miller, and we'll see him touch 98 and 99 occasionally. But his velocity has been much higher after the injury this year than he's ever had in his entire career. And normally that is not the case. Usually you pitch slower after an injury. So 1-2 pitch, low and away. Sweeper missing there by Bryce, trying to get Langford to chase, and he doesn't. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Langford. Two-two pitch, and another deep hit ball by Langford into center field. Julio is there, and that is out number 3. Julio Rodriguez makes so many plays on defense. I don't think people really realize how important Julio is to this team. He is the most important player on the team overall. And again, his offense, his defense, his vibes. When Julio's in the lineup, we know we have a chance to win. When Julio's not in the lineup, we have a really hard time competing even, let alone trying to win a game. And I'm very thankful that we have Julio on the Seattle Mariners. All right, let's go to the top of the 4th inning and see if we can take the lead. Next up for the Mariners, 1-for-1, second baseman, my favorite player besides Julio Rodriguez, Cole Clutch Young. I love two-way players that play offense and defense. Batting second, 0-for-1 with a K, DHing Mitch Garver. Let's see if Mitch can come up with something crazy like in this photo. And batting third, 1-for-1 with an RBI. So far, our MVP of the day, believe it or not, Weston Wilson. Let's go, Weston. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. $35 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 25 on the dono train because of Sean and Rebecca. 75 to go. And we're at 72 likes. We need 28 more to get to 100. We can get 28 people out of the 212 to hit the like button, then we'll be there. Top of the 4th inning, 1-1, Mariners and Rangers. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Rangers. Langford homered for the Rangers, and Weston Wilson with an RBI, scoring Naylor from second in the 2nd inning, and that's where we sit at the moment. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. We got a new one we're debuting here today. And, he's been grinding them out, but I'm pretty selective on the ones that I choose, but he's grinded 150 beats, within the last 6 months or so. And so obviously I only use, maybe 20 to 30 of those that I've handpicked. And then out of those 20 or 30, we may only use on the stream, maybe 10 to 15, but, it all kind of depends on the vibe and, how much that, he puts in that time and effort. Pitch fouled off there by Young. 0-2 pitch, low and away with that slider missing by Mackenzie Gore. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 4th inning. We're knotted up at 1. Well, we're going against a left-handed pitcher, so that's why Garver, is in that particular spot. It's like if Connor Joe or Rob Refsnyder were available, we wouldn't want them, So, yeah, Garver in that position isn't really the best choice, But again, we have injuries to JP and a few others. So, little dribbler, nice hard run to first, but not in time, and that is 1 away. It's like, at this point, we just need Donnie back. We need JP back, and then at that point, we won't even need Garver. We could have Weston Wilson DH if we needed to go down that path. So. But even though Garver's not the greatest player, I'd rather have Garver, DHing than Connor Joe or Rob Refsnyder. I know that's not really saying a whole lot, but, First pitch to Garver is a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. And once in a blue moon, Garver will surprise you with a hit or a single or a double, an RBI, or even a home run. So, he's got a better chance of making something happen than Connor Joe and Rob Refsnyder combined. So, but still not, not to our standard, especially if Pareda was on the team. He would be doing a lot more than Garv, especially hitting wise. 1-1 pitch. And a hard hit ball by Garv. And also another reason that Garver's in the lineup, besides, having a lefty on the mound, if people forget, Mitch Garver won a World Series with the Texas Rangers a couple years ago before coming to the Mariners. So he actually has World Series experience, believe it or not. So, we know, he's not anywhere near being a quote unquote good player, but, the pitchers are familiar with him. Obviously the management, decided to go with him over Pareda, even though I don't think that's the right choice. And now we just got to root for him, to do the best that he can with limited ability. So, and, sometimes when you do play against your former team, sometimes that brings out the best in you. Not all the time, but some of the time. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Mackenzie Gore to Mitch Garver. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and that is 2 away. Next up is Weston Wilson. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Yeah, and there's a lot of beats that he makes that just aren't really, sports related. Some of them are a little bit slower. They have a different type of tone, and they're good. They're good beats. It's just, it wouldn't really be a fit, I think, for a sports stream, and I listen to all his stuff, all the time. So I just have to be nitpicky with the ones that I choose that I think that would work well here. 1-1 pitch, fouled off and out of play there by Weston Wilson. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs, top of the 4th inning, 1-1 Rangers and Mariners. Jack in the building, what's good? One-two pitch, low and away. Count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes from Mackenzie Gore to Weston Wilson. And Weston's got, kind of that aura and vibe about him. Like I said, for a lower tier player to join the team, he has been the best besides Johnny Pareda, who's in AAA right now. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss there. Can't get a hold of that one after getting an RBI in the 2nd inning, scoring Naylor, and that is out number 3. Right. Paisley's kind of shaking her head right now, so I think I'm going to clean her ears real quick. I don't know what's going on. If she's got some wax buildup or whatnot, but I don't want her scratching her ear. She already had an ear infection, and I had to go to the vet for that, and I want to make sure I take care of that. So just give me a second here. Next up for the Rangers will be Ezekiel Duran, 0 for 1 in the 3-hole. Batting second, 1 for 1, Brandon Nimmo in right field, who hit a few home runs against us in the past, but hopefully not today. And then batting third in the 5-hole, center fielder Evan Carter. So let me attend to Paisley here real quick. All right, I'm back. Got to do my dog dad duties. First pitch from Miller to Nimmo, fouls that one off. 0-1 count. Yeah, I got these like high-end ear wipes. They're, like back in the day where they used to have those like circular wipes like for pimples, like, that you used to have back in the day, like in the 80s and 90s. And it kind of is one of those, because if you end up using like a wipe that's, like a sanitary wipe for like a human, that's obviously going to irritate, a dog's ears and whatnot. So usually if you can find them in that circular kind of tub, and they're a little smaller, you can maneuver a little bit better in there, and it also is going to be healthier for the pup as well. So 2 balls and 1 strike from Miller to Nimmo. Two 1 pitch. And Randy catching that in foul territory, and that is 1 away. Good defense there by Randy. But after having, 3 vet visits in 3 months, costing me $1,100, that's, I got to be very, very observant, of what's going on. And usually she's, right by my side, all day, besides the fact that when I'm working. So, but again, if I hear something or if I see her, scratching or shaking her head and whatnot, I got to make sure I act pretty quick and whatnot. So she had her first ear infection in her life. So, and she's going to be 5 here in a month or 2. So, I want to make sure that I can try to nip it right away if there's any issue. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-1, Mariners and Rangers. Got to be a good dog father to my dog Dada. My everything, my number one, my favorite thing in this world, the Paisley pup. First pitch in there to Evan Carter from Bryce Miller, 0-1 count with a runner at first. Mike with a 5er, appreciate you. Every dollar counts. And again, I definitely took a big hit, with the vet visits lately, and I appreciate you, Mike with his first donation to the channel. And every dollar counts, whether it be ear wipes or making her nails trim and dremeled and self-wash, and dog food and toys, and anyone that's got a dog or a cat or multiple dogs and cats that are more than just dogs or cats, their family, you realize how much you end up spending to make them happy and to have a good life, and it's not cheap whatsoever. 1-1 pitch popped up. Julio having a busy day, and that is 2 away. And we're at 30 on the Dono train, 70 to go. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez in the no-fly zone, making many plays in center field for us, and I'm really happy he's back in center field rather than DHing. Next up in the 6 hole, 0 for 1, first baseman Jake Whataburger. First pitch with the 4-seam fastball, high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, takes a strike, looking right down the middle. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, no balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first with 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-1, Mariners and Rangers. Yeah, when I went to Petco, I'm a nerd, so I'm always like reading and reviewing and looking to see. And they had like 5 different brands of dog ear wipes, and I was like, okay, well, what are the differences? So I had to like look up, a comparison and whatnot, and see like which one is for what, type of, issue that you're having, whether it's like after an ear infection or before, or, and the ingredients in there. But, I ended up picking up the one that cost the most, but I think it ends up, going to be probably the best for her. So 0-2 pitch. And Berger pops up into right field. Back. Gone! And Jake Berger homers into the first row. Wow. And just like that, 3-1 Rangers. I did not expect Berger to hit a home run there. And Jake Whataburger pouring it on. Hamburger with cheese and all the fixins. 362 feet in the front row with Duran on board. And we're going to have to do our best to kind of chip away. Next up, in the 7-hole, shortstop Nicky Lopez. And again, we haven't hit any home runs yet. And again, if we're going to compete against this Ranger team, you know, again, getting hits is nice and getting RBIs is nice, but you're going to have to hit a minimum of 1 or 2 homers in almost every game if we're going to, you know, be successful. And a little dribbler there, toe tap on the bag. Miller is a little disgusted with himself, you can tell. And then we have now a 3-1 Ranger lead. End of the 4th inning, 3-1, Texas. First pitch from Mackenzie Gore to Colt Emerson, 1-0 count. And I didn't mean to have Jeff get into that situation there, so I'll have to see if I can fix that maybe after the stream there. Pitch fouled off. And a 1-1 pitch and a nice single there to right. Nice job there by Colt Emerson. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Nice job by Colt. Colt having a productive day so far. I like it. Top of the 5th with a runner at first now with no outs. 3-1 Rangers. First pitch takes a strike swinging. 0-1 count. I'll see if I can go in there and reverse Jeff's little issue there. And Randy Arozarena On the 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball into right is fair. Colt moving fast and safe at third. There we go. Runners at first and third with no outs. Great job there by Randy. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. See if we can tie this game up. I'm going to have to tend to Paisley again here in a little bit after this inning goes to commercial. She's shaking her head quite a bit, so I'm going to have to try to clean her ears again. Now she's in here now. Sitting next to me. Lay down, honey. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and third and no outs. Top of the 5th, 3-1 Rangers. One pitch, pop behind the plate and foul with the 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and third and no outs. Yeah, she's laying on my feet, which she normally doesn't do, but I think it's just kind of hot and whatnot, and her ears are bothering her and whatnot with the humidity. And I get a probiotic, through Pet Lab Co. that helps with her gut health, so that way she can avoid some of those allergies, but it just must be a little extra hot today for her. 1-2 pitch popped up, and that is 1 away. Unfortunately, Julio can't get the RBI there. Next up is Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. On deck is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, baby. Good things happen when the moose comes out. Most of the time. First pitch, fouled off, out of play with a slider, 84 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Runners on the corners at first and third with 1 out. Top of the 5th inning, 3-1 Texas. 0-1 pitch, popped behind the plate and foul. Sinker at 96 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes with runners on the corners at first and third and 1 out. Top of the 5th, 3-1 Texas. And hopefully I'll be able to go into my system to unblock Jeff. I'm not sure if I'll have to wait till the stream to end before his name will show up, but hopefully we'll be able to do that. 0-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Slider and sinkers used here at this at-bat by Mackenzie Gore. That slider was low and away. All right, now Paisley's laying down behind me now. 0-2 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Gore. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners on the corners at first and third and 1 out. I mean, even if we can get it to 3-2, just kind of chip away. I mean, obviously getting the game tied or taking the lead would be great, but you got to crawl before you walk. And if we can just get something rather than nothing, obviously best case scenario, Dom hits a home run and we go up 4-3, then that would be fantastic, but we will see. Come on, Dom. 1-2 pitch. Dom with a little blooper. Drop. Yes, there we go. Oh, it goes past him all the way to the wall. Go. Run, Randy. Run. There we go. And Dom with a big 2-run RBI. 3-3. We tied it up. Let's go. I was not expecting that. Nice job there by Dominic Canzone. Beautifully hit ball. And then the outfielders mistime it. Rolls all the way to the wall for not only 1 run to score, but 2. Great job there. After giving up the home run to Berger, Canzone scoring Emerson and Arosarena. And a hard hit ball by Cal. And he almost homered. Wow. Just foul. And obviously with Colt Emerson being able to get on base, today with walks and, getting on with a single, it shows, he's starting to be able to show that he can have an impact, on the game. And, just being a little bit more patient in the box goes a long, long ways, for a guy like Colt Emerson. Great job, Mariners. We've already had Bryce Miller, give up 2 home runs, but thankfully the bats have come alive here in Texas. Game is tied now 3-3. I love it. With a runner at second with 1 out. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Cal. High and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gore to Raleigh. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Oh, 2 pitch. Cal pops it up a mile. Should be a routine play here. And caught there by Duran. And that is 2 away. Next up is Josh Naylor. First pitch is high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. 1-1 pitch, line drive towards third in the Ranger dugout. With that slider, 86 miles an hour there by Mackenzie Gore. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. Mariners and Rangers tied at 3. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Got 7 hits so far, which is great, but no home runs. The Rangers have 4 hits, but 2 of those 4 have been home runs for them to have this game be tied. Dom is at second with 2 outs. Let's see if Naylor can knock him home. And I got to tend to Paisley again. See if I can clean her ears a little bit more. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gore to Naylor. Come on, Naylor. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. They do something, we respond. They do something, we respond again. And, sometimes that's not the case. Usually it's like we score first and then they do, and they respond immediately, the opponent, but not a lot of times where if the other team scores first, we respond back with a jab immediately. And then they hit us with an uppercut with a Berger home run, and we give them an uppercut right back. And so, this is exactly what you need to do against one of your rivals in the Texas Rangers. And I'm happy that they're doing it tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second, Dominic Canzone with 2 outs. And we've tied this game up at 3. I'm pleasantly surprised. 2-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Four-seam fastball, high and away, 95 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. Gore on the mound, Naylor in the box. Two-two pitch. Naylor with a deep hit ball into center field, but it will stay in play, and that is out number 3. Nice job there by Dominic Canzone. Callie in the building. What's good? All right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th. Next up is Ezekiel Duran. On deck is Brandon Nimmo. First pitch there from Miller to Diaz. Four-seam fastball right down the middle, 0-1 count. One pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Miller to Diaz. One pitch, fouled off and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 5th. We are tied at 3. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Joe in the building. What's good? 2-2 pitch. And Diaz pops up into right. Dom is there. And that is 1 away. Next up in the cleanup spot, in the 4-hole, right fielder Brandon Nimmo. On deck in the 5-hole is Evan Carter. Or we're at Cawley, excuse me. Different Diaz, Duran and Diaz. I got confused there where we were in the lineup taking care of Paisley. All right, next up in the 9 hole, and second baseman Cameron Cawley. Elias Diaz was up last. 0-1 pitch there by Cawley, popped up. Naylor is there, and that is 2 away. You get discombobulated when you have to do 2 things at once. I'm trying to work here and make sure my pup is okay, so bear with me. Next up, 0 for 2, DHing Jock Peterson. First pitch from Miller to Peterson, high and inside with a cutter, missing 1-0 count. Bottom of the 5th, 3-3 Mariners and Rangers with nobody on and 2 outs. A little bit of a, I wouldn't say really a heat wave today, but it's in the high 80s, after we had triple digits for about 3 days in a row a few days back. So 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Miller to Peterson. I mean, every series is important from now to the end of the year. 2-0 pitch. And Peterson pops it up into foul territory. And running out of room there by Weston Wilson. Two balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, 3-3 Mariners and Rangers. I mean, anytime you end up playing someone in your division that you're battling for first place and playoff position, it definitely is important. And then obviously we play the Dodgers on the road after this, which could get ugly, but hopefully we win at least 1 game out of 3, preferably 2 out of 3. But to be able to beat the Dodgers 2 times out of 3, games in LA, I mean, you're going to have to play spectacular, starting pitching, bullpen, hitting, having your team, pretty much fully healthy. And, hopefully we have JP and Brandon Donovan in the Dodger series. And hopefully we'll have JP maybe even as early as tomorrow. 2-2 pitch. And Peterson pops up and fading out of play. But this is definitely one of the biggest series, between now and the end of the year for sure. Blue Jay in the building. What's good? 2-2 pitch and a little blooper in this shallow center. And that just goes right in front of Julio Rodriguez. No chance for a play. Peterson with a single. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up in the 2-hole, left fielder Wyatt Langford, who homered in the first inning, 384 feet to give him the 1-0 lead. They hit us with a jab. We hit them with a jab back. They hit us with an uppercut. We hit them with an uppercut back, but we haven't hit a home run yet. They've hit 2, one with Langford and one with Berger, but thankfully our RBI and our hit game is on point here today. First pitch is low and away with a slider, 1-0 count. And a lot of people don't realize, it's like I'm trying to, do my dreams, but I'm also trying to help someone else that has a dream as well. And there's a lot of people out there that are haters and, would only focus on themselves, but I wouldn't, wish anything bad on Brooks. I want him to succeed in life. And, if we can help each other out, that's what good friends do. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Miller to Langford, and anyone that makes music, either beats or sings, you have to realize how hard it is to break through. It's not easy to break through, no matter, what your age or race or, where you live in the country, especially if you live in the Pacific Northwest. It's one thing if you live in California, and you have connections, but, if you don't have a lot of connections and you're in Oregon or Washington, it's definitely a little bit harder to break through. So, if I can do a little bit on my end to help him out while he helps me out as well, then, that's what you do for friends. 2 balls and 1 strike from Miller to Langford. 2-1 pitch. high and away. Four-seam fastball missing there by Miller. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike from Miller to Langford. Three-one pitch. And there for a strike looking. Nice cutter there by Bryce Miller. And even though this hasn't been, Bryce's best performance by any means, at least, the bats have come alive, so that way we're not down 3-0. 3-2 pitch. Hard hit ball. Deep left field, but Randy is there for out number 3. Now let's go to the top of the 6th inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. And I'm going to go 10 to Paisley here real quick again. Go to the top of the 6th. Next up is second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Batting second, DHing in the 7-hole, Mitch Garver. And batting third so far, one of the heroes for the Mariners, Weston Wilson. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And we got Peyton Gray in the game. So Mackenzie Gore now is out of the ball game. We got a righty in the lineup. First pitch in there for a strike from Gray to Young. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch popped up and out of play. Oh-2 pitch. And Young fouls that one off, out of play. And a little dribbler into left field and a hit. Let's go. Second hit for Cole Clutch Young. I like it. Nice job there by Cole. Great job. Does much better when he's in the 3 to the 9 hole. I didn't like him at the leadoff spot. So next up in the 7 hole is Mitch Garver. 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Let's go, Mitch. And first pitch to Garver against his former team. Pops it up into shallow center. And that is 1 away. All right, Luke Raley getting a chance. Let's go, Luke. Even though Weston Wilson was productive, we're going to get a chance to see Luke Raley since they've decided to go from a lefty to a righty. And let's see if Luke can hit us with a nuke to give us a lead. Let's go, Luke. Peyton Gray on the mound. Luke Raley in the box. First pitch from Gray to Luke, and there for a strike, 0-1 count. Luke Raley in the box, pinch hitting for Weston Wilson, and Peyton Gray on the mound. Coming in for Mackenzie Gore. Oh, 0-1 pitch to Luke, low and at the knees with a changeup, 83 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Top of the 6th inning, 3-3 Mariners and Rangers. One pitch, takes a strike looking low and away, right on the line. 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With a runner at first and 1 out. Top of the 6th, 3-3 Mariners and Rangers. Yeah, Blue Jay, JP is, a good role player and most patient player in the box. And not having him in the lineup has definitely hurt us. He's got some wrist soreness as Luke Raley strikes out swinging, and that is 2 away. But he's got some wrist soreness from batting practice from 3-4 days ago and just hasn't, been 100% green-lit to go yet. But hopefully we'll get him tomorrow or on Sunday. And then when we end up starting the series against the Dodgers, hopefully we'll have Brendan Donovan and the availability of, JP, even if he doesn't start. So, all right, next up is Colt Emerson. And this is one of the better games that he's had so far. He's 1 for 1 with a run and a walk. And there's been a lot of games where Colt has gone 0 for 4. So, to be a little bit more patient in the box can do a lot, for a player like this. Like, look at the jump that Cole Young had from last year to this year. I assume Colt will do the same thing next season. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Colt Emerson. And Colt and Cole have always been amazing at defense. It's just about getting Cole and Colt, on the same page, in the box. And Cole has figured it out. Colt still has a little ways to go, but you're seeing some improvement here today. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there with a little foul tip. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. And he was batting about 250, 260, and then he got it, under 200. And again, we want him to be able to, obviously learn as he goes. But he's definitely due for a home run. 1-2 pitch. And pop behind the plate to the Globe Life Field sign. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning, 3-3 Mariners and Rangers. Come on, Colt. One-two pitch. And big swing and a miss there by Emerson, and that is the end of the Mariners there in the top of the 6th. All right, let's see who's up next here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Next up in the bottom of the 6th, 1 for 2 with a run, third baseman Ezekiel Duran. Batting second in the 4-hole, 1 for 2 right fielder Brandon Nimmo. And batting third, 0 for 2 in the 5-hole center fielder Evan Carter. Tridents up, let's go Ems. 36 subs to go to 24,500. Now 35. Shout out to all of our new subs, our female audience, all of our regulars, everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. We're at 30 on the dono train, 70 to go. I apologize, I've had to step away a couple times for Paisley, but obviously she's my number one priority in life, so I got to take care of her when that time comes. And we're at 114 likes with 242 in the room. $86 to $200. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. All right, Buddy Kennedy coming in at third base. Yeah, I mean, I normally would never say something like this, but, you know, I don't wish injuries on anybody, right? I don't wish them on anybody. If it happens to the Mariners or even our biggest rival, you know, I don't wish injuries on anyone. But with Rob Refsnyder getting hurt, that was kind of a blessing for us, you know, so we didn't have to play him. And honestly, I would, you know, rather him not play the rest of the year, you know, if we have that option. You know, if he wants to be healthy, fine. But then, like, you know, send him to AAA or just like leave him on our bench, I guess, and like not play him. But the problem is they paid him $7 million, and to pay someone $7 million, you know, who is terrible, you know, that's rough. You know, Castillo and Refsnyder are extremely overpaid right now. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Miller to Duran. But it probably would be the only time I would wish that we wouldn't play a player. You know, I'd rather cut him or send him to AAA or just bench him. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Bottom of the 6th, 3-3 Mariners and Rangers. 2-1 pitch. Popped up into right field, fading out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Duran. Yeah, Rob might be actually our worst offseason pickup in the last 20 years, honestly. And Canzone's there in right field. And it's, you know, just because you were great, you know, hitting lefties in Boston doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen, you know, at the hardest place to hit in Seattle, you know. But again, wishful thinking, you know, by the front office and whatnot. But sometimes you just got to look in the mirror and say, I made a mistake, you know. But again, at least we have Weston Wilson and, you know, we've seen Johnny Pareda. And those 2 guys have actually been good. But Refsnyder, Connor Joe, Mitch Garver, not so much. Next up is Brandon Nimmo with 1 out. I mean, if we're really being honest, Dank, Weston Wilson is more valuable than Mitch Garver, Connor Joe, Rob Refsnyder combined, you know, based on what he's been able to do. First pitch is fouled off there by Nimmo, out of play. Slider 87 miles an hour. No balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 6th, we're tied at 3. Now, Gore has exited, Terry. 0-1 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Cutter there, 90 miles an hour, high and away by Miller. No balls and 2 strikes from Miller to Nimmo. Now, Gore has already exited. (0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Miller to Nimmo. (1-2 pitch by Miller. And a little blooper into right. And it drops. Get it, Dom. And a single there for Brandon Nimmo into right field. Next up in the 5-hole, center fielder Evan Carter. Miller's at 83, 58 strikes. Surprisingly, 0 Ks today. and he's starting to kind of slide down the pecking order. Used to be our number one pitcher, but it kind of feels like if Kirby can start to put a few positive outs, together, it seems like maybe Logan might be our number one now, and Miller is sliding from maybe the 2, maybe even down to the 3, depending on what happens here today. Maybe Kirby right now is our 2, and then Miller, somewhere in that 3 to 4 range with Hancock. And obviously we're waiting for Wu to get going, and hopefully Wu gets going tomorrow. 0-1 pitch, and Carter goes around. High and inside with the cutter, 89 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the 6th, we're tied at 3. Miller on the mound, Evan Carter in the box. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Yeah, I think Logan right now is our 1. It's going to change week to week, based on how they do, because, everyone is pretty close to each other. Miller at one point was by far our best, but he's been kind of taking the L's lately, and his pitching hasn't been as good. His ERA has still been, obviously one of the best, even though he's got less starts than the rest of the team since he was injured. But, he's definitely sliding in the wrong direction. But again, if Miller goes down a couple spots, but Gilbert and Wu and Kirby can go up, then it'll be kind of like it was in the past, where, Miller might be like our 4th best guy, and then you have Wu, Kirby, and Gilbert at the top, and that's normally the top 3 guys in our rotation normally anyways. And then Hancock obviously has been better than expected, and Castillo is by far our worst, and we'll probably move him at the deadline. So 2-2 pitch to Carter, low and at the knees. But a lot can change from, a week, to 2 weeks, or even from 1 month to the next. Look how bad Mooney was at the beginning of the year. And now within the last month, he's been like a top 5 closer. So, I didn't know if Mooney was going to turn it around, but I'm really pleasantly surprised he, has been able to do that. We need him. 3-2 pitch. And runner goes, and that pitch is low. And when's the last time that Bryce Miller had 0 Ks? I don't even remember the last time he hasn't got a strikeout. And that's where he's sitting right now. 89 pitches, and that might be it for him. And it is. And he doesn't even have 1 K. This might be the first time I've watched Bryce, honestly, not get a K in a start. That's crazy. And now Edward Bizardo is coming in, and hopefully we get the good Bizardo, not the bad. Last time we saw Bizardo, he did not look good. So we'll see. We can't have Bizardo giving up, singles, doubles, home runs. So hopefully he'll be able to get a double play here. We're due. All right, Edward Bizardo coming in. And Jake Berger, 1 for 2 with a 2 RBI game with a 2-run blast in the box. Got to be careful here. This could be the turning point in the game. So Langford homered to left, 384 feet in the first, 1-0 Rangers. Then Weston Wilson singled to right, scoring Naylor from second, making it 1-1. Then Jake Berger in the 4th got a 2-run jack with Ezekiel Duran on board, making it 3-1. Miller was obviously frustrated there. But then Canzone doubled to center, scoring Randy and Colt Emerson. So they've gotten 2 home runs. We've gotten ribbies, and the game is tied. We have 8 hits. They have 6. And thankfully, we're not down 3-0 right now. And normally when, a first team jabs, sometimes we don't jab back right away. And, when they threw a haymaker, we threw a haymaker back. And, to be able to have them, kind of take the lead, we tie it up, they take the lead again, and then we respond immediately. That is not something that the Mariners typically do at home or on the road. But, we'll take it. But this is going to be the turning point right here. We got runners at first and second with 1 out. And now we got Edward Bizardo in. And first pitch, a little dribbler up the middle. Oh, my God. Fuck. Emerson can't get it. And runner is coming home. Jesus. And just like that, 4-3 Rangers. I thought for a second there we might get the double play, but it was out of reach by Colt. And Bizzardo's struggles continue. It looked like Emerson was kind of leaning more towards third rather than second, and just couldn't get back to that spot in time. And we're going to have to respond again. Runners now on the corners, first and third with one out. Come on, Bizzardo. And now Nicky Lopez shows bunt and foul. Pitching has not really been good today for us. Oh, one pitch, high and away. And we desperately miss Brash, Cooper Criswell, and Carlos Vargas just as much as JP and Donovan, probably more, considering I don't trust anybody in our bullpen except our closer. And, you know, so if you got like 10 or 12 guys and you got one guy you trust, that's not ideal. And a bunt. They bunt and the runner comes from third and scores. Jesus. And again, Dan Wilson letting Bizzardo come in the game was a big mistake. Bizzardo, not trustworthy. Ferrer, not trustworthy. Gabe Spire, not trustworthy. Davila, not trustworthy. Simpson, not trustworthy. Rucker, not trustworthy. And they end up bunting and scoring the runner from third. That's when you know things are going terrible. Yikes. 5-3 Rangers. And, you know, I'm not saying the game is over, you know, but again, it was a huge turning point there with runners at first and second with one out and Bizzardo shitting the bed again. First pitch to Diaz is a ball low and away, a 1-0 count. And your bullpen is going to lose you or win you more games than any position group. And, you know, when the Mariner bullpen is on, they're on. But when they're off, they're fucking terrible. And Bizzardo is some shit right now. Terrible in his last start, and he's terrible again. And now they got bases loaded with one out. You might as well have stuck with Bryce than bringing in this fucking bum. You know, I would have rather had Bryce go to 105 pitches than bring in fucking Bizzardo. You know, Dan Wilson's got no awareness. You know, you got to realize, you know, when a guy has been pitching well or when he hasn't been pitching well, and he was absolutely terrible in his last outing, why would you choose Bizzardo to be the first guy out of the pen? No fucking awareness. And just like that, the game is starting to slip away. And Bizzardo used to be the best bullpen pitcher for us last year, but this year he's kind of bootios. Not consistent at all. You know, it's like they strike first, we punched back. You know, they throw a haymaker, we threw a haymaker. But now, you know, fuck, we're down 2 runs already. They got bases loaded, right? And now they got a AAA guy warming up. So it's like Dan Wilson essentially has already given up. And who knows how many runs we're going to be down by the time Bizzardo gets these last 2 outs, if he does. You know, and hopefully we'll hit a home run or 2 late. Otherwise, we're not going to have any chance of coming back. We need a double play bad. Come on. Bizzardo can't even hit the fucking strike zone. Can't hit the corners. Terrible. Come on, Bizzardo. One-0 pitch gets the corner high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Bizzardo to Osuna, who's pinch hitting. One pitch. Tries to paint the corner and misses again. 2 balls and 1 strike with bases loaded and 1 out. Rangers 5, Mariners 3. Yikes. Osuna in the box. Bizzardo on the mound. 2-1 pitch. Finally, a decent pitch there. Took him like 10, 12 pitches to finally have a decent pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Osuna. Two pitch. Big swing and a miss. And that's a huge strikeout for Bizzardo. We need to hold this lead to 2. We can't have it go any bigger than that. Next up, 1 for 3 is Jock Peterson with bases loaded and 2 outs. Come on, Bizzardo. Keep it close for us. First pitch, big swing and a miss with the sweeper high and away. 83 miles an hour, 0-1 count. One pitch from Bizzardo. Popped him up. And will this be the saving grace that we need? Yes! What a play! Buddy Matthews bailing out Bizzardo's shitty-ass performance. And now we're down by 2 runs again. And we're going to have to find a way to make another comeback. And at least we have a chance now to still win this game. It's going to be tough, but I mean, if it would have went to 6-3, 7-3, 8-3, it would have been over for sure, more than likely. All right, Mariner Moose, we're going to need all the help that you can give us. And let's see if we have the right 3 batters to kind of get a rally going. We got to make up those 2 runs immediately. End of the 6th inning, 5-3 Rangers. Now they've tied us on hits with 8 now, but they have a couple home runs and we don't. That's the difference. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 1 for 3, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 1 for 3 with 2 ribbies and a K, right fielder, the Italian stallion Dominic Canzone. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40-plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring after this season, so we dedicate every stream to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. $35 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 30 on the Dono train, 70 to go. And we gained a couple more subs. Appreciate you. 33 subs to go to 24,500. And let's see where we're at on the likes, how close we are to 200. And we're at 135, 65 to go. $221 people in the room. If you haven't smashed that like button just yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes. Shout out to everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond, as well as our female audience, all our new subs, and all of our regulars. I appreciate you. We need a rally. Junis to Arozarena takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a big swing and a miss, high and away. No ball, 2 strikes. Jacob Junis to Randy Arozarena. Down goes Randy, and that is one away. Big swing and a miss on a sweeper, low and away by Rosarina. One up and one down. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch to Julio. Pops it up into shallow center field. And caught, 2 up and 2 down. Come on, guys. We need to be a little bit more patient in the box, Randy and Julio. We only got 3 innings left, and we're down by 2. Come on. Next up in the 3-hole, right fielder, the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. On deck is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And a little slow dribbler there towards second, throw to first, and that is 3 up and 3 down. Not a very good inning batting-wise for the Mariners after having a meltdown by Bizzardo. I was expecting a lot more there than what we got out of Randy, Julio, and Dominic Canzone, unfortunately. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run and RBI. A home run in the first. Left fielder Wyatt Langford. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run. Third baseman Ezekiel Duran. And batting third, 2 for 3 with a run. Right fielder Brandon Nimmo. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And I just, I can't wait for JP and Brandon Donovan to come back. But I'm really missing, Matt Brash when he's good. I'm even missing Cooper Criswell. Considering some of our guys that we're supposed to trust, like Bizzardo, Spire, and Ferrer, have been unreliable. Give me some Cooper Criswell, give me some Matt Brash. And I never thought I would say this, but I'm really missing Carlos Vargas. He hasn't pitched all year. And, did he blow some games for us last year? He did, but again, it's like just having him as an option would have been great. And I can't wait for us to, beef up our bullpen. And if that means that we got to get rid of, Hancock and Castillo for that to happen, if we're going to make a deep run, we need to firm up that bullpen. It is, very inconsistent. Even though our starting pitching staff and our bullpen are typically top 6, it doesn't feel like it all the time. And the bullpen, man, sometimes it's just really hard to watch. Sean with a 10er. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Sean is a great dog father, 3 dogs and a cat. I salute to you, and it takes a lot of love and a lot of time and a lot of energy, to make sure that our family members, that our pets, have the best life possible. And I know that you understand that more than anybody. I appreciate you very, very much. We're at 40 on the Dono train, 60 to go. And now we got Rucker, a AAA guy, coming in for Bizzardo. And let's see if Rucker can do better than Bizzardo. And Dan Wilson needs to realize, if someone had a meltdown in their previous outing, you don't go with that guy first, in the first game in a new set. Go with someone else. You should have went with like Spire or Ferrer instead of going with Bizzardo there, but, I guess some people have more baseball IQ than others. I mean, is it possible to have like a really bad outing and then you're lights out the next one? Of course, but with the Mariners, sometimes, when you got a bad outing, sometimes it leads to another bad outing and sometimes even another after that. All right, Michael Rucker coming in, and hopefully he does better than Bizzardo. I think he will. And Langford is 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI. And again, if you get better results out of Davila or Rucker than guys like Spire, Bizzardo, and Ferrer, what the hell are we doing? And again, we haven't called up Cade Anderson or Ryan Sloan. They're still not even on AAA yet. But it kind of makes me think that even if we called them up today, how much better would Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan do than the guys that we have in the pen right now? And I think that they would be competitive, even with our very best. That's how, talented that those guys are, but they're not going to bring them up until they make AAA first. First pitch from Rucker to Langford, low and away with the cutter, 90 miles an hour, 1-0 count. But we definitely need to be buyers at the deadline. We need bullpen, and another right-handed hitter. That is popped up and out of play as Cal chases behind the plate into the foul territory, into the netting. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 7th, 5-3 Rangers. And we have 2 afternoon games. So tomorrow's game will be the last game of the night on Fox. It's a global broadcast, I believe around 4:15, 4:30-ish, around that time. And then we have 2 morning games around 11:30 on Sunday and Monday, which is not ideal for a lot of people that have to work or have errands to run, but I will be grinding on all of those. I mean, it makes sense to have an 11:30 game on Sunday, but it doesn't make sense to have an 11:30 game on Monday. Like, make that a little bit later. And I get it, we're in Texas, but still, it could still be like a 1 o'clock game. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and good job there by Rucker, striking out Wyatt Langford, and that is 1 away, doing a hell of a lot better than Bizzardo. Yeah, depending on the categories that you look up, depending on if you're looking at ERA, and the strikeouts to ball ratio and all those stats, there's going to be different stats from different nerd websites. Most of the stats that I, saw going into today, typically would have, the bullpen, usually in the top 6, and same thing with our starting pitching staff, but not in every category. But obviously with what we've seen in the last couple games, obviously if they ended up going a little bit lower bullpen ranking wise in certain stats, would not be shocking, because obviously Bizzardo has not looked good in the last couple. And, we have a couple guys that have been okay, a couple guys that have been shaky, and we're definitely waiting on Brash, Criswell, and Vargas. Little dribbler up the middle, throw to first, and that is 2 away. What website did you see that particular information on? Because I usually go to a few different, nerd websites and whatnot that follow MLB stats, but, there may be a few other nerd websites that I'm not familiar with, so. First pitch is low and away. Curveball, 82 miles an hour. 1-0 count. Inside the pen. I don't usually use that one for my references, but I'll check it out. 1-0 pitch. Fouled off. Out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. 5-3 Texas. One pitch from Rucker, high and away, trying to paint the corner and just missing. 2 balls and 1 strike from Rucker to Nimmo. Yeah, Thomas Nesteco on Twitter/X has got a lot of stats, that spends a lot of time and energy, not just with the Mariners, but for the MLB. And there's a few others, that I'll, kind of take a peek at and whatnot. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody on with 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, Rangers up by 2. 2-2 pitch, popped up with the curveball out of play there by Nimmo. And count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Texas with a 5-3 lead. And down he goes, Brandon Nimmo, and that is out number 3. All right, we got 2 innings to go to make up 2 runs. So we need either a run in the 8th and a run in the 9th, or we need to get 2 runs in the 8th or 2 in the 9th. And we'll see if we can find a way here. All right, let's go to the top of the 8th, and we need to make up 2 runs. Next up, 1 for 3 with a K. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a run and a base on ball. First baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. And batting third, in the 6th hole, second baseman, 2 for 3 today, Cole Clutch Young. If Cal and Naylor can get on board, Young could possibly homer. and or get an RBI. And that could maybe be the difference in the game tonight. Right hands up. Let's go M's. Cole Young with runners in scoring position and with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Runners in scoring position usually bats over 300. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs when the clutch moments, he's batting over 400 as of a few days back. So, if we can get, Cal and Naylor on board, either with a walk, hit by pitch, or singles, Young could be the hero. He's done it many times already in his sophomore season, and he is my favorite player on the team besides Julio. All right, 33 subs to go to 24,500. Gained another sub during the commercial break. Appreciate you. 32 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 40 on the dono train, I believe. 60 to go. And we're at 143 likes, 57 to 200. Appreciate you, TJ. And Alexander, the lefty on the mound, big dumper in the box. And I do like the fact that the dumper is batting right-handed. Seems like he has a better flow, lately batting from the right side than his traditional strong side, the left. Sometimes you just need to switch it up, have a different perspective on the game. And luckily, he's one of those talented players that can bat from both sides, even though he's had a very tough year this year with injuries and poor play. But hopefully he heats up before the season is over. We're going to need him to. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike on the corner with the four-seam fastball there by Alexander. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. 1-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. One-two pitch from Tyler Alexander. And Cal with a little blooper. Line drive into left field and caught, and that is 1 away. I was really hoping that was going to drop, but Langford was there in left field, and that is 1 up and 1 down. All right, let's see if Naylor can get on with a single or a double, and then Cole Young might be able to bring him home. Let's go, Josh. Naylor in the box. Cole Clutch Young on deck. First pitch from Alexander to Naylor. Takes a strike looking high and away with a cutter. 89 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Kind of a half lazy swing low and away with the sweeper getting fooled on that pitch. Come on, Josh. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 8th inning, 5-3 Rangers. Oh-2 pitch, and Naylor gets a piece as it gets fouled off into left field with a sweeper low and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 8th inning, 5-3 Rangers. Come on, Ems. Oh-2 pitch, a little dribbler back to the pitcher. Or no, it went over the pitcher's head. Throw to first. And down goes Naylor, and that is 2 away. Ezekiel Duran making the play after it goes over Alexander's head. I thought Alexander might have a chance at that ball, but Duran making the play. 2 up and 2 down. All right, come on, baby. Cole Clutch Young. I mean, if he can get an unexpected home run or even just keeping the inning alive with a single or double, Let's go, Cole. We're going to need you more than ever right here. First pitch with a sweeper, low and away, 1-0 count. Even drawing a walk would be fantastic. 2 for 3 today. He's been seeing the baseball really well today. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Clutch Young. And really the difference, we're the most home run dependent team in baseball. And when we don't homer, we typically don't win. And we don't have any homers yet. So that's kind of the story. We're able to get ribbies and score, 1 to 3 typically. But, to get over that hump, that 5-run, 7 to 10 hit number, usually we need 1, 2, 3, 4 homers, to have that productive day overall. 1-1 pitch, and Young with another hit. Let's go. And great job by Cole Clutch Young. A 3 for 4 day from Cole. But now we need others to step up. It can't just be the Cole Young game. We need others to do their job. Good job, Cole. 3 for 4 day for Cole Young. Beautiful. All right, next up is Mitch Garver. And now we need some of that Soto mojo and that Mariner magic. And we might have a pitching change here. All right, we have a bullpen change. And Wynn is coming in. All right, Cole Wynn is coming in. And Wynn is a righty, so hopefully that'll make a difference. All right, top of the 8th with the runner at first, Cole Clutch Young. And then from one Cole to another, now we're going to have Cole Wynn coming in. And hopefully we'll be able to take advantage. And if there was ever a moment that we needed, that revenge moment against his former team, it would definitely be this at-bat. A single, a double, a home run, something. Hang with a tenor with his first dono to the channel. The nice Simpson logo for the photo. I love it. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Every dollar counts. Hang with a tenor. Thank you so much for your support and kind words. We're at 50 on the dono train. 50 to go. Come on, Garver. For the love of the baseball gods, please do something against your former team. It's like, anytime you get a guy like him or, Weston Wilson or, in the past, Ref Snyder or Joe, you don't really have a whole lot of expectations. You just hope, but Weston Wilson has actually been a little bit more reliable. I can't put him in that same category with those other 3 anymore. Wilson has actually been pretty consistently positive. 1-0 pitch, and Garver pops it up into shallow left. And that is, unfortunately, out number 3. All right, we're going to have one last chance. And obviously, Bizzardo in that bullpen, appearance definitely ruined it. Because, again, we had a 3-3 tie, and if we were able to keep it 3-3, who knows where the game goes. But, we haven't been able to hit a home run yet. And, obviously the difference is Langford and Berger, doing what they did. We really missed JP in the lineup as well as Brandon Donovan all year. As well as Carlos Vargas, Matt Brash, and Cooper Criswell. We probably missed those 3 guys most, because again, the bullpen is very shaky lately, up and down. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th. Next up, 0 for 2 with a run and a base on ball, center fielder Evan Carter. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a run, 3 RBIs and a 2-run jack, Jake Whataburger. And batting third, 0 for 2 with an RBI, shortstop, Nicky Lopez. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We're going to need a miracle now. $32 subs to go to 24,500. Gained another sub during the commercial break. Thank you so much. $31 subs now to go to 24,500. We're at 50 on the dono train, 50 to go. Let's see where we're at on the likes, how close we are to 200. We're at 150 likes. We need 50 to go. 50 to go on the likes and 50 to go on the dono train. Also want to give a special shout out to Christakis for all his dono love in the last few days. And I noticed on the last stream that he donated a couple times, and I didn't notice until after the stream ended. So wanted to make sure a couple times during this stream, if he's watching, to acknowledge that support and love. And I appreciate you, Christakis. All right, first pitch from Rucker to Carter is a ball. 1-0 pitch, a little slow dribbler towards first. Naylor is there, toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. Good pitch there by Michael Rucker, getting the little dribbler to be out. There from Evan Carter. And next up is Jake Berger. And the Langford homer didn't shock me, but the Berger one did. I mean, it only went into the front row, but, Berger is a guy, that can homer from time to time, but normally doesn't homer against the Mariners that often. But as you know, even if it goes over the railing and in the front row, a homer is a homer. And that was the difference. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Rucker to Berger. .20 pitch, tries to paint the corner and misses. Count now is 3 balls and no strikes from Rucker to Berger. .30 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike from Rucker to Berger. This one is called Heaven. And Canzone gets that pop-up into right, and Berger flies out, and that is 2 away. And shout out for Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube, all his hard work. 150 beats in roughly 6-7 months, and obviously he's doing a lot of running and whatnot, doing mini marathons and things of that nature, and ultra marathons and whatnot. So obviously he'd have a few more beats out if he wasn't focusing on his health and running as well. So trying to pursue 2 dreams, and I can really respect that. And first pitch to Nicky Lopez with a single in there to left. And now we got a runner at first with 2 outs. Well, Rucker is doing better than Bizzardo, and there should be no reason that Rucker and Davila, aka Davila, are 2 best guys from AAA. Those guys should not be doing better at any moment than Ferrer, Bizzardo, or Spire. But unfortunately, that's kind of what we've seen from time to time this season, where like the AAA guys that should be worst on the team in the bullpen have actually outperformed some of the star bullpen guys on our team from time to time. And that's unacceptable. And that's why we have a 500 fucking record, or, right around that 500 record. If our bullpen was better and we didn't have injuries to Brash, Criswell, and obviously Vargas, and we had Brendan Donovan all year, and JP obviously was, healthy as well, you would assume that we, even with Dan Wilson managing this team, we still would be 5 to 15 games above 500. But again, this team has been the most beat up out of any team that I've watched in the last 40 years. And I've been watching since I was about 3-4 years old, and I'm 44. So, I have never seen a team beat up as much as this. And, it doesn't help when you have an incompetent manager like Dan Wilson. He manages the same way as Scott Service. He's not very bright. These are former players of the MLB, but they have no awareness. They don't know how to read the room. They pull a guy too soon, right? They bring in the wrong guy. The lineups are typically not correct, and they usually don't make adjustments. And another hit into right field in front of Dominic Canzone. And now we have runners at first and second with 2 outs. But even with all these things going sideways and not a great manager, I still think we can make a deep run this year. The American League is down, right? The Rays and Yankees are good. And then you have the White Sox, the Guardians, and the Mariners and the Rangers very close to each other skill set wise and record wise, even though the Guardians and White Sox are starting to pull ahead of obviously where the Rangers and Mariners are at 500. And usually with the Guardians and White Sox, they're typically 3 to 8 games above 500, depending on what's going on and who their opponent is. And then obviously with the Yankees and the Rays, they're typically 12 to 18 games above 500. So, it's going to take us getting hot at the right time and not getting, hopefully getting any more serious injuries, because really the injuries and the poor play and poor managing have killed us this year. And Bizzardo had a meltdown in the previous game, so I don't know why they brought him in. They should have brought in Ferrer or Spire, probably Spire, because even Ferrer has been having meltdowns, pitching balls, and not being able to hit the corners. But again, you have to be aware, of your players and what they did in their previous outings. And I'm not sure if Dan, focuses on those things or not. Foscue coming into the game now with runners at first and second with 2 outs. I miss anybody that will be productive. Carlos Vargas was one of our worst bullpen guys, and I desperately miss him because he hasn't pitched for us all year. Maybe he would have improved and gotten better, And remember, Bizzardo a couple years ago, was one of the worst with Taylor Saucedo. And then he ended up being the best bullpen guy last year. But this year, he's nowhere near being the best. He's been very inconsistent. Pitch fouled off and out of play by Foscue. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th, 5-3 Rangers. And the only way that we were going to win 3 out of 4 games is if we took game 1. So at this point, we have to shoot for winning 2 games and they win 2 games. And that's probably the most realistic outcome unless we really shit the, bed and they end up winning 3 out of 4. But I don't think that'll happen. And down goes Foscue. And now we're on our last opportunity here to get 2 runs to tie the game 5-5. And obviously we need 3 to win. Let's go to the top of the 9th. Next up, from the San Francisco Giants, Buddy Kennedy. You don't really expect anything from him, If he could bunt, and get to first, but I don't think he's got enough speed to do that. Just got to hope for maybe a walk or a hit by a pitch, and he's, not getting hurt. And then batting second, 1 for 2 with a run, base on ball and a K. Actually having a kind of a productive day, Colt Emerson. And then batting third will be 1 for 4 with a run and a K, Randy Orosarena. So I guess best case scenario for Buddy Kennedy, we have to hope that he gets walked or a hit by a pitch. So yeah, Thornton really wasn't very good for us. He was just kind of a guy, but considering we have half of our bullpen is AAA guys, then, you start to miss even the guys that were kind of average to below average at times, 31 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 50 on the Dono train, 50 to go. Now we needed 50 likes to get to 200. We were at 150. Let's see where we're at right now with 233 in the room. And we're at 151. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. $49 to $200. It's going to take a miracle for the Mariners to win, if I'm being honest. I've been following this team for 40 years. I mean, it's not impossible. Usually, for us, to be able to come back in games. Hold on one sec here.
Oh my gosh.
2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking there. 2 balls and 1 strike from Latz to Kennedy. Two-one pitch, takes a strike looking on the line, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Latz to Kennedy. Come on, buddy. 2-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Pitch is out of play there with that foul ball. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 5-3 Rangers. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Buddy Kennedy, but that's not surprising to anyone. Obviously, when you have one of your lower tier guys, when you bring up a Buddy Kennedy, you're essentially bringing up Rob Refsnyder, Connor Joe, where you really have no faith that anything good is going to happen. But I mean, if it was Weston Wilson, maybe something could happen, but should have never taken Weston Wilson out of the game, but they had to switch him up for Luke Raley, in the pinch hitter, but should have kept Weston in this whole game. First pitch to Colt, and a laser out there to left and out of play, 0-1 count. 1 for 2 with a run, base on ball and a K. A pretty productive day lately for Colt Emerson, who has gone 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 5 pretty often lately. And obviously he's going to have those rookie woes, but hopefully, he'll be able to continue to get better and better, which I know he will. 0-1 pitch, called a strike, and Emerson is challenging. Hopefully this is outside. And it just hits the corner and we lose the challenge. Call is confirmed. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out, top of the 9th. 5-3 Rangers. But again, the Mariners and the Cincinnati Reds are the 2 most home run dependent teams in baseball. And we just got done playing them, and that was kind of the difference. Their home runs, and we weren't able to hit enough. Today we don't have a home run, and if we end up losing this game, that'll be why. And Emerson with a big hit down the line. Go, go, go. Big game by Colt Emerson. Run, Colt, run. And Emerson with a double. And this is probably one of the best games he's had in a Mariner uniform. Great job, Colt. Now we need someone to be able to hit a home run. Great job by Colt Emerson. The best game that he's had in weeks. Good job. Him and Colt have been good today. But what about the rest? Next up is Randy Arosarena, and then on deck is Julio Rodriguez. If somehow, some way we can get to Julio, we might actually be able to tie this game up or take the lead. Come on, Randy. Emerson getting a double, that's unheard of, especially late in the game. Great game by Cole Young today. Great game by Colt Emerson, but can we get anybody else besides the CNC factory? 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Randy. Four-seam fastball, high and inside, 95 miles an hour there by Latz. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second. Emerson with 1 out. Come on, boys. Pull it together. Find a way to get on base, Randy. Oh-2 pitch, a hit up the middle. Throw to first, and that is 2 away, and Emerson scampers to third. And now we got Julio Rodriguez. If Julio can hit a home run with Emerson at third, we'll be in business. Or even if he gets an RBI single to keep the inning going. But obviously, getting a home run by Julio, we need it. Can we get our first home run of the game, please? Come on, J-Rod. Come on, Julio. We got Emerson at third. He's had a great game like Cole. First pitch, big swing and a miss. There by Julio, 0-1 count. Come on, J-Rod. We got to channel in our Soto mojo and our Mariner good vibes. Come on, Julio. Oh, 1 pitch. Foul behind the plate to the Globe Life Field sign. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez with a runner at third. Colt Emerson with 2 outs. Come on, J-Rod. Oh-2 pitch. And Julio pops it behind the plate again at the Globe Life Field sign. 96 miles an hour there by Latz. No balls, 2 strikes. Runner at third. Colt Emerson with 2 outs. Top of the ninth. We're down 5-3. We haven't hit a home run all day. And again, we normally don't win games where we don't homer at least once. And Julio calls time. Come on, J-Rod. Trying to channel in our inner Soto mojo. Okay, we got the Julio photo with the trident. We got to bring up the moose for extra good luck. And let's see what happens. Oh-2 pitch from Latz. Wild pitch. Emerson's coming home, and he's safe. Let's go. 5-4. Here we go. Wild pitch by Latz, and Emerson scores from third. 5-4 Rangers, but we still need Julio to keep the game alive. There we go. Come on, Julio. 1-2 pitch. Outside, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With nobody on and no outs. This team has a lot of fight, and it's nice to be able to see the young guns, show that they can play. Cole Young and Colt Emerson, but we need Julio to do Julio things. Let's go. 2-2 pitch. And Julio just gets a piece as it rolls towards third and foul. Two-two pitch. And Julio pops it up and out of play again. And again, the Berger home run was, a killer for us, obviously with Langford homering, early on. But, when the game is tied 3-3 and then you give up a big home run earlier, at that point to make it 3, and then you had Bizzardo with the meltdown. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Latz to Rodriguez. Even if Julio can draw a walk to keep the game alive would be great. Top of the ninth, 5-4 Rangers with nobody on and 2 outs. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 3-2 pitch. And Julio with a little dribbler, routine play, throw to first. And that is out number 3, and that is the ball game. Rangers take game 1, and hopefully we can respond obviously in game number 2, and hopefully JP will be back in the lineup. All right, let's go over the stats for both teams. And if we just brought in someone other than Bizzardo, maybe we would have won this game. Final score, Rangers 5, Mariners 4. Let's go over the stats for both teams quickly. Jock Peterson, 1 for 4. Wyatt Langford, 1 for 4 with a home run. Ezekiel Duran, 1 for 4 with a run. Brandon Nimmo, 2 for 4 with a run. Evan Carter, 0 for 3 with a run, as you can see a common theme here. Jake Berger, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a home run. Nicky Lopez, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Elias Diaz, 2 for 4. Let's go to Elias Diaz's photo here. Diaz was 2 for 4. And then last but not least, Cameron Cawley, 0 for 2. And then let's go to the Mariners here quickly. I mean, we need to have a good leadoff hitter. You know, JP, I feel is better than Randy as a leadoff, and we need Brandon Donovan. Just plain and simple. Haven't had him all year since the first month of the season. It's been killing us. All right, Randy Arozarena, 1 for 5 with a run. Julio Rodriguez, 1 for 5, and that's just not going to cut it from players with that kind of talent. Dominic Canzone, 1 for 4. With 2 RBIs, Dominic Canzone. Cal Raleigh, 1 for 4. Josh Naylor, 0 for 3 with a run. Cole Clutch Young had an awesome game, 3 for 4, but what about everybody else? Mitch Garver, 0 for 4. Should be Johnny Pareda, but, I guess Dan Wilson and DePoto aren't smart enough to make that decision. Weston Wilson ended up going 1 for 2 with an RBI. And we know we can count on Weston more times than not lately. And then Colt Emerson had a really good game as well. So Young ended up going 3 for 4, and Colt Emerson ended up going 2 for 3 with 2 runs. And that's probably the best that both of those guys have done together in a game. It's just unfortunate that besides Emerson and Young, nobody else really stepped up besides Dom. And you need more. We need home runs, and we weren't able to hit one there. So unfortunate loss, but hopefully we can pick it up. We're going to be obviously on Fox on Saturday, for their primetime game of the day. And hopefully we can get a little payback and revenge. We got Brian Wu on the mound, so hopefully we get it done. And then we're going to have 2 early games on Sunday and Monday at around 11:30 Pacific. So again, it's been a frustrating year, but we just have to be able to be as positive as possible and come together. Shout out to all the people that subbed. Shout out to all the people that donated. Sean with a 20, Rebecca with a 5, Mike with his first dono to the channel with a 5, helping out with the pup. Sean with another 10. Us dog dads, we relate to each other. Appreciate you. And shout out to Hang with his first dono to the channel as well. Appreciate you. And shout out to all of our new subs, all of our regulars, all of our mods. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Rangers 5, Mariners 4. And we'll be live tomorrow on Fox around 4:15-ish. So come through, and hopefully we'll get a little payback on this Ranger team for the game today. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Tridents up, and go Mariners.